virus, there's people that's affected mentally, physically, and people that have lost loved ones over it. I asked you, heal our land. Lord, I ask a special prayer for Jeff. Lord, heal his body and his mind and be with Melody. And we ask that you bring your people back to you so we can remember that you are the reason we have what we have. And I ask that you be with this commissioner's court and the decisions made here today be pleasing unto you. Forgive us our new sins and shortcomings. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberties and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
At this time, any person with business before the court not stated on the agenda may speak to the court. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. We don't have any guests today. How you doing, Bob? Good. Court to discuss and or consider action to be taken on the following: interprecinct project schedule and staffing. Anything? Got our grant ready to
I got all
go.
the forms out, spreadsheets. I printed some for Jim and for Craig yesterday. But I emailed off for the commissioners a copy of the spreadsheets to track their projects, and you just need to make sure, like I stated in the email, to write project 1 or project 2 for each one of those, because I have to have those separated out on your invoices. Write the same project corresponding to that specific road that you're working on. If you could turn them in weekly, I will. That way, I can keep track of them all in my spreadsheets to submit once a month. And I won't submit September because we're already at the end of September. But at the end of October, I will submit these couple days plus all of October to Christy at TechStop. So we'll do a monthly, but I need y'all to make sure you're having your foremans keep track of those and send them in weekly along with the invoices. And there's a FEMA schedule if you can write or highlight what the equipment is that you're using, because to me, I have no idea what those pieces of equipment are. If you can highlight which ones, that way I know which rate to use for the equipment used.
Put in the spreadsheet, I have it on there.
It has equipment on there, so you can either write the equipment code that's on that FEMA spreadsheet, or you can write what it is. For me, it's easier if there's a code from FEMA. If you would write that, then I can just go in and I find it on the spreadsheet on my FEMA report, and then I can put the amount and all of that. But
is that the way you'd rather have it?
Either, however, I mean, I can tell you how I want it, but that doesn't mean it's going to get filled out that way. So I have a lot of experience with this. It doesn't always mean that way. I prefer that. But I prefer to be able to tell what it is so I can put a billing on there. If I can't tell what it is, I will be coming to y'all.
There will be equipment that we use that won't be on FEMA schedule. So in the previous grant, we actually just did something that was similar.
Yes,
to
yes.
it. So
And that's what we'll do on this one too. If there's something that is not on the FEMA rate, I printed out the 2019 FEMA rates, or I have that is what I sent in the link. If it's not on that rate, then whatever is the closest to that is what we will use. And that's in Christie. I've never had any problems with them kicking it back or anything. So, yes.
I checked and found out that we can use landfill. Request is to recycle as much as possible and put as little as possible in there for this. I'm talking about the building, the country club. Just curious if, and I'm not looking for a vote, just a kind of an idea of what y'all think about moving forward on that.
My only concern is, and it's been brought up to me, my guys, there's asbestos in that building.
Yes, asbestos will be removed beforehand.
There you go. That was the question.
Okay, yeah, that will be taken care of beforehand.
For sure.
And there will be equipment that we'll have to rent that we don't have
Absolutely.
right now.
Yeah.
To carry it down
Yeah.
as well. That's something that we'll just have to get together and
Yeah, figure
our
out,
foremen get together and figure out exactly how to proceed with that.
If y'all can do that, kind of figure out what we need and how long y'all think it'll take to lease that equipment. then
I'm
we
just
can have
wondering
an
if we
idea.
could get the orange crew to strip out the electrical wires as much as possible, because there is a lot of them.
Right. I'll work on that and figure out what we can do with that aspect of it.
How much steel was supposedly in that building?
Oh my goodness.
I would think that I think all the, beams across the top are for sure, and there may be some,
Your upsides are gonna be steel covered.
No, and then we'll see about getting the, Sweetwater, or not Sweetwater steel, but, get a container for the metal from Scurry Metal.
We know if there's good beams in it, we get them down without, say, any of the precincts.
Right.
Shed or whatever.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna try to do this and build the roads too at the same time?
This is all dependent on when y'all are available. If we can't do it, then, we'll wait, but, if y'all have some downtime in the winter or something, I was thinking around then. I don't know if y'all do or not, but just,
Well, the grant has a time limit.
Mhm.
That building's been standing out there for, so
Yeah.
I would say that the grant would come first.
There's also 23 total projects on the grant.
for how long?
It's a 3-year grant.
3 years?
I mean, once everything's started.
Yeah.
Once it's started, within that 3 years, it can finish out, but it has to all of the projects, I mean, I don't want y'all going down and starting all 23 roads,
Right.
just to say it started. But once it's started, then, it can finish, even if the 3 years is up.
Gotcha.
But you have 3 years to start the projects that have been approved.
So I would think that,
Isn't the total 5 though?
The total out is 5, but Christy even said, if it's going, then they will go ahead and finish it. It's already been in process. Now, I would say probably if you're at the end of the 3 and you decided, oh, we got 5 projects left and we're gonna start it all at the very end, that might be questionable.
how many miles of road do we have? In those
I don't
23?
know how many,
Yeah.
because it's several of the projects are like 4156 is project 1, and then like 11, and then so it's different sections. I don't know what the total mileage of
Gotcha.
that is. It's probably on that
It'd be hard to
spreadsheet.
Figure that because there's no complete roads in it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's sections.
yeah.
I think Jim does have one complete road out just to the east of Hernley down there. That goes from there all the way out to, from the railroad track out. Yeah. I think that's the only one that's actually a full road. Unless you've got the golf course road in there, or, the next, that'd be a complete road from the plant to the golf course.
Yeah, and then, the 253, but I've done some of it
Yeah.
myself, so I don't know where that counts or not.
No. It won't
No,
count because it
they
was started prior to authorization.
Okay, so I've got 2 miles yet, but I'll have to do that on my own too.
Out of your own budget. What you've already paid and done, that we can't do any paperwork on
I
doing anything,
mean,
but
I've got
from where
2
you
more
are,
miles
yes,
left
that
on
you
it.
can do,
That
because it's
I can
on
do.
the project.
Okay,
If it's not listed on the project list, then no, but 253 is on the project. 253, right? That's what you said?
right.
Yes, that's on the
And
project
I done about a
list.
mile of it.
Yes.
I like about 2 miles of it, but I'll have to pay.
What you've
They'll
already
pay
done,
for it,
they will
but they
reimburse
won't
that
pay
one.
for that.
Right.
Okay.
Be so we don't get in too big a hurry on the country road.
Well, I just thinking it's been a couple of years, it just keeps deteriorating. So, Okay, all right, we'll move on if there's nothing else that we need to discuss here. Okay. Court to discuss and consider extending, continuing, or renewing the declaration of disaster for Scurry County executed on March 16th, 2020 for a period of no more than 30 days pursuant to Texas Government Code 418.108. We've continued to extend this. Our caseload or our cases of COVID has really jumped here recently. There was 107, I believe. Yeah, 107 in the last 12 days. And of course, we still have cases that are coming off. And we were at 86 yesterday. So, and we're expecting more today. So, we're looking to extend this through it's extended through October 12th. We're going to extend it. Now we're going to have to change that date.
I couldn't make it come out either.
Yeah, we're going to, so it's through November 12th, I believe. Let me double check. We're doing it a little early because we were supposed to meet next week, but y'all are preoccupied.
We jumped ship, didn't we?
He did. That's okay. I completely understand that. 14.
Never actually thought that had it. I really didn't.
Through November 11th, and I will get this fixed.
Judge, can I say something about that?
Absolutely.
Declaration. I was Lubbock County yesterday. They did not renew theirs.
Mhm.
And God knows Lubbock County's got as many cases as anybody, because more people. And I know the reason originally was stated so we could get reimbursement. But that is, after a little checking, as long as the governor, as the state of Texas, under his emergency declaration, we don't have to do that and we're still eligible for the money. Is my point.
Okay.
Which, when all this started, we were told under the impression that if we didn't do it, we wouldn't get it.
Sure.
That's not the case.
Okay.
So that's just information.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a piece of paper, I understand.
Sure.
And I'm not downplaying anything other than it's not necessary.
Right.
Just my point.
Okay. I understand that. I think, and I completely understand that that thought process. My thought on that is at the point that we're at, up until this time, we hadn't had a lot of cases. I would think that, just in my personal opinion, that with as many cases as we are, a disaster declaration showing that we are still considering it a disaster, especially now. Instead of saying, well, we've come this far, but we're gonna back off of it.
But and I do understand that. And we are at the peak of what we've had since March. And, but my point is, that it's a piece of paper.
Sure.
And it doesn't, as you can tell, doesn't make you wear a mask, or not wear a mask, or social distance, or anything else. So, but anyway.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other thoughts or discussion? Okay.
So is this something that you feel is necessary going forward, Judge, to do? Is this just in case or what?
I think it's an in case, but I also believe that backing off of it now when we're in the height of it might send a message that we just don't, we're giving up, or we don't care that the cases are going up, or, and I understand it's a piece of paper, but it's also sending a message as well to me that we do care, we do want to do the right thing as much as we can, or as allowed to do there's not a lot of local control, but this is something that we do have control over. So,
That was pretty easy to do. I make a motion that we continue it.
all in favor? Against? You're gonna abstain?
No, but I don't, if we don't have to do it, I don't know why we do it.
Okay, so is that a no then?
No, that's not a no, I'm just stating opinion.
Okay.
That, you know, if he's like he says, I don't see that it's doing a bit of good. I don't like the thing to begin with, I think you know that.
Yeah.
But I'm not against what y'all wanna do. But I'm just not really for it. I think if we don't watch it, we're spending my grandkids' money on mine own. And I just don't believe in it.
And we have no control over what they do at the federal level.
I know it, but you don't have to, as far as I'm concerned, you ain't got no control over it. You're right. But you don't have to agree with them.
Okay.
And that's just my one little dirt opinion. I felt it from the word go, but, you know, if that's what we need to do, or if y'all feel we need to do, well, you're not gonna hear no crap out of me. I'm
Okay.
just gonna sit here.
So are you a yes or no, or abstaining on the vote?
I'm abstaining on the vote.
All right, that's what I needed. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, court to discuss and consider under new business, certification of additional revenues in the form of proceeds from ag fuel, recouping a portion of fuel and oil costs for the airport.
We do this, basically once a year. Fuel, for the airport, the fuel that they sell, they will hold a portion of it as they're selling through the credit card sales and stuff like that until Bob does a request to release those funds back. So they released, it's 50,000, right?
100,000.
It was 100,000. So it should be 100,000.
Do we need to change it on there?
Yes, it doesn't even 100,000. And
Last 3 years, it's
It
been
was
50,
50.
50, 50.
And threw you
Yes.
off.
yes.
Yeah, 100,000.
So it is
this year.
100,000.
Mine says 100,000.
Does yours say 100,000? This
On-
copy here says 50.
On the
so-
back side, it says 100,000. On the front side, it says 50.
Okay,
Yeah.
so right there is the check.
Yeah.
It's 100,000.
Yeah.
We can all together and get more money.
Bob is also requesting that if we could put the 100,000 into the airport reserve fund that he has put to the side in Texas class for the taxiway.
Taxiway crossovers they didn't do. in
So that we can eventually
2009.
get that grant, because we'll have to pay, it's a 20% or 10%?
10%.
10%, so it's a 90-10 grant with TxDOT Aviation. So with this 100,000, we have almost 100,000, or no, it's
250 plus interest.
I don't know exactly the total amount that's in there, because I don't know if it's a full 250 in there. But we do have quite a bit in there.
Okay.
Plus the interest rate has gone down a lot.
Considerably.
A lot.
Yeah.
But you had this in there, we will be a long ways where we could probably go ahead and start the process with TxDOT Aviation to get that grant rolling to get that done.
That was
There.
my next question. Are we close?
We have our airport AIP funds from the FAA. We've got 4 years in now, 600,000.
Mhm.
And after 4 years, we don't get another 150,000.
Okay.
It just holds at 600,000. And that's used for like engineering and preliminary stuff.
Right.
To get the plans drawn up and everything. But it has to be decided on by the county to begin the project, where the TxDOT will look for the money
Mhm.
through the FAA to do the whole project, the 90% part.
Okay.
So it's a year or two down the road at least,
It's
after
still
we
a
decide
process.
Yeah.
if we
because
want to do it.
Then they
Okay.
do that, and then they'll have the engineering come out and do new things and all of that kind of
Right.
stuff.
So
So,
we're looking
All
at
the
a few
preliminary
years down the
stuff we
road.
have to do.
but to get started, because the state doesn't move fast.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
I make a motion, we accept, how's it worded?
the additional revenue and the
Certified
placement in
revenue.
And to place it in airport
the reserve.
reserves.
Second.
All in favor? All right, very good.
I just wanted to say that that's money the airport has made off the sale of fuel and hangars and rent and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not actually a grant, like
Yeah, it's
it's
not a
been
grant.
stated in the past. It
It's the
does not
profit
state
we
that
that's
in here.
profit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So when people say the airport loses money, I mean,
Yeah.
they're not looking at the full picture of it. That's actually revenue.
Right,
We
They
buy our
hold
own
it
fuel out
until
of
we
that account,
request it.
everything else.
okay. All right, very good, thank you. Court to discuss and consider Scurry County's participation in tax cybersecurity training program. This is something that is required. We have to approve it through Commissioners Court.
Apparently, we're going to have to do this every year.
Every year.
Because I did ask for clarification since
Yeah.
we did this last year. I did the implementation and the tracking of it last year. They have all of our information set up. They just have to have this form.
Okay. And what it says is under state law, Texas Government Code 2054.5 and 5191, effective June 14th, 2019. All elected officials and any local government employee who has access to a local government computer system or database must complete a cybersecurity training program certified by the Texas Department of Information Resources at least annually.
I will say that I believe because of the COVID and more people being at home, the cyber attacks have increased exponentially.
Yep.
So I believe that they are probably going to rewrite some of this training to focus a lot on hacked emails. Tyler Technologies was hacked, you know, and so if a system like that has many things in place to keep from being hacked
Right.
can be hacked. Other counties have had their stuff hacked and had it ransomware, and they lost their data, you know, and we're down for like 30 days or more trying to just get their accounting stuff back up.
Well, City of Snyder.
Yes,
right
the
here.
city of Snyder had it. So it is I think it's a very good training to be required annually because you can get complacent in just thinking of opening the emails. I'm very picky about emails that I open, but I also, I understand what kind of stuff, I don't understand why they work so hard to steal people's money while they just don't put their own talents to use, but it happens. So I definitely think this is a great thing to be doing.
Yeah, and it's required by law.
Well, yes, but trying to get everybody to do it is very difficult. I know
it.
kind of a pain in their hind end, so
Right.
they get it done whether they want to or not, but they do complete them.
Well, it's got teeth in it. If you don't do it and something happens.
Oh, I know, yeah, yeah.
Really good.
And I will say, because the probation office had a DPS audit recently, because they have to do background checks and then they also have to do like a special background check for anybody who has access to juvenile records or certain other records. So that when they came, they requested to see our approved cybersecurity training from approved from DIR, which is also DIR approved. They requested to see that, so I had to get the spreadsheet from the report to show it that they all had completed it. Candy's office will also have to have it because she does the DPS security stuff as well.
Right.
I believe the jail.
Yeah.
So it's hitting a lot of different areas that were already required,
Sure.
but now everybody is.
I try to make a motion that we participate in the tax cybersecurity training program.
All in favor? All right. Do we have any line item transfers or budget amendments?
Yes. There are no line item transfers, just, two budget amendments. The first one is the sheriff's department. Actually, I'm not gonna did they put it in there?
Got two.
She did put the $50 one.
Yeah.
It was, that is from the donation that was received, and we're not accepting the donation till regular session, so
Okay,
I don't know if y'all wanna go ahead and do this
Let's
one or
wait on
table
that
it
one then.
until next time.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it's just the Hermley Waterworks budget amendment into repairs, 15,000, operating supplies, 15,000. Repair to water wells, number 2 and number 3, also supplies to replace worn out, broken parts on wells, standpipe, and replace chlorine pump.
All of that needed to be done. It was in bad shape. Needed to be taken care of.
Can I
Sure,
ask a question?
sure.
This commissioner's court is the board of the Hermley Waterworks,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not doubting this needs to be done, but I would like more communication with this board when it comes to spending $30,000 over the year.
Okay.
Because, and does Gary, does he help? Does he do anything?
Yes.
As far as repair?
As far as all right, some of these
I
things,
know he
yes.
can't- I know he
Yeah.
can't pull the well.
Right, yeah, so what he can do, he does. So if it's replacing meters, which, meters, which some have stopped working and you have to have those working, then yes, he does replace those. 2 of the wells were pulled and the pumps were bad. One was an irrigation pump, that was in there. It was the wrong kind of pump that was in there. And so I understand some of these things have needed to be done right then because when it goes down, it goes down. But some of the things have not been immediately necessary. So, like number 3 well, it was down, it wasn't working. So we had him pull the well and
Well,
check
like I
it
said,
out.
there's not just a lot of money in Hermley Waterworks. And since we are the acting board,
Mhm.
I just think we need to have a little more say in what goes on, or at least more knowledge of what is about to go on.
Sure.
In my opinion.
Okay.
And, this being a budget amendment, Angela, where's this gonna come out of?
This will come out of the Hermley Waterworks bank account, which their bank account has $96,000 in it. And then we have the taxable account that has a little over 100,000. So you're looking at approximately 200,000 currently in that one, right now.
I just know we've got to watch it because Hermley Waterworks stands on its own.
Mhm.
And it doesn't generate enough. If it continues, and I'm not complaining about keeping it up at all, but if it continues, one of these days, something's gotta be done because it does not generate enough money for salary and repair. I want us to be on top of that.
I understand that.
Well, just to tie in on that right there, has the people that was looking at it, is that gone by the
I
wayside?
was going to set a meeting up for the 6th for that evening, but obviously we can't do that. So I'm gonna set up another meeting for that a little bit later.
So
when
you're
y'all are all
still
back.
interested though,
Yeah.
as far as you know?
So, and I understand your concerns on that. But like I said, sometimes you've gotta have 72 hours to put a meeting together. And
Yeah,
so,
I understand.
yeah, so,
But I mean, it's, since all this has started,
Yeah.
there's not been a lot of communication with the board is my point.
okay,
I'm good.
thanks, sir.
How many bids did we get to do this work?
There were no bids on it, because it was under the bid amount. And some of it was, it's not 15,000 and 15,000, it's broken out, there's several projects. And we can set up a Hermley board meeting and have him come in and tell you everything that he's had to do. One of those things is the requirement to, TCEQ requires you to have that standpipe checked every year, and that's just regulations, and I wasn't put in the budget this last year, that's my fault, and, that had to be taken care of, so.
There was no bids.
No, and like I said, some of it was not, it's not all 15,000 and 15,000, it's several things that were done in there. So, I think on one of them, there is only, there may only be one person that does that type of work.
I know we did the work. Pretty well, that's good.
I make a motion that we accept the budget as written. Second?
All in favor?
Gotta fix it.
We'll set up a meeting to discuss all of this. All right, we need to pay some bills.
Yes. Bills are 1,188,263.92. 1,188,263.92.
I need to make a motion, we pay the bills.
All in favor? Okay. We will go ahead and go into executive session pursuant to personnel matters.
Dun, dun, dun.
10:31.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And
I'll wake up.
you want to sign me another one of them to put